Good morning, sweeties. My friends, my YouTube friends. What are you? My parasocial relationship friends. what what uh what are you people? Who are you? Who are you guys actually? If you've been watching my channel for some time, back in the day, well, actually I don't know, like 2 years ago, year and a half ago, I did a video on Matilda Goad's house, and I kind of just reviewed her main living room, and the review was good. I really liked her living room, but it's been a few years and she has done some stuff with the place. And I find these types of videos the most interesting because I love to see the evolution of interior design because you're chased, it changes over time as mine has done. I've done things to my house that I've gotten rid of and redone even in the past year. And I feel like Matilda Goad's style was more young and color blocky. And I think that type of design was more in at the time. And now we're going to see what she's transformed her place into and kind of compare the before and afters because I just think she has really interesting and unique taste. And I also just, yeah, again, I love to follow people who grow in interior design, which a lot of people on YouTube have done. And that's the most fun shit to watch here on YouTube, I would say. Wouldn't you say? Just to see what people are doing, what they're changing in their homes. So yeah, if you want to sit with me while I drink my matcha and look at Matilda's home, just keep playing this video. Okay. Let's look. The home tour that I originally viewed was 2 years ago, featured on House and Garden, and now they have an updated one that's 1 month ago by the Sunday Times style. And just by some side by side comparisons, it looks like she's kept a lot of the original features but just made small upgrades, which I feel like is the best way to approach interior design when living in a space. You don't need to always do giant, gut renovations or redoing a whole room. It's kind of like little paint colors or, tile switches or, adding a table here, whatever, small things. So this is going to be a fun and interesting comparison. So we'll start with, 2 years ago. 2 years ago let's start in her kitchen. So when she first bought the place, this is kind of when she put in all of her money and efforts to give this a giant facelift because the place needed a little work. The kitchen was very 70s and they completely gutted it, kind of. They knocked down some shit, So with the kitchen before, it's funny because I feel like green cabinets have just been in style for quite some time because this was 2 years ago. She painted the cabinets green. Well, they kind of designed this whole entire layout. She does work in interiors, so she knows, what she's doing. They lime washed the walls, which I'm not a huge fan of, and I don't really love the color of the walls. And the checker pattern tile is, a little trendy, but I love all of the color palettes, but it does, looking back on this now, it looks a little trendy. I think I did kind of say that at the time. I think I did. Also, that piece of art above the little walk-in pantry, just a little, all this is trendy, but classic at the same time. So I'll be curious to see what she's done. I've only taken a little look of the back and forth, but we're kind of viewing this together in real time. Exciting stuff. Some initial first things that I've noticed that she has changed is she got rid of the wooden little kitchen island and put in a little marble one. And I wouldn't say I'm a huge fan of either of those, honestly. I don't know, I feel like she could have a butcher block or something a little more unique. I don't know. The marble one looks a little short. I don't know. She's kept the little surface above the furnace in the back, which I think is cute, but she's replaced that sconce thing with a piece of art, and I actually kind of liked that little sconce thing, so I don't know. And then she did get rid of that trendy piece of art above the door, which is good, but very small changes, like the base of it has stayed the same. It's just little upgrades, which is what you need to do. That's pretty much how it should go, you know? It looks like she kept this area pretty much the same, which what could you really do unless you're going to, replace the sconces? But I think she honestly made some like really classic choices. They do lean a little trendy, but I feel like she does a nice balance where it doesn't feel too to the trend. It just feels like her style. That checker and the scallop is very, very Matilda Goad to me. As for the little banquette, it looks like the only thing she did was get new chairs. They're kind of similar styles. I actually like the three even more, but all of this is pretty much the same. I feel like the kitchen area, it was just some minor little changes, whereas I think in the living room area, she did a lot more with like switching up furniture. I don't know. It's been 2 years. So I definitely thought she might have done more, but I like that she hasn't, meaning she was very confident in her original decisions. We like that. I do like how she added in these like swing seats to the counter. I don't know how practical they are, but she does have 2 kids, so they're kind of nice that they can like sit there and like have breakfast, I guess. I don't know. I don't love when you have a kitchen island where there's nowhere for your feet to go under, but I guess if you sit to the side, but I do like that addition. I think it's fun. I feel like her house is catered to kids in a way. I really like her mix of, very kid or child friendly colors and furniture. Like it feels very lived in, but it also feels adult at the same time. I don't know. I like that approach. It's kind of similar to Hannah Carpenter, who has actually extremely similar style to Matilda, different in ways, but catered to family. And I like that. I like a family style home, if that makes sense. Now let's move over into her living space, which if you look at the before, she painted it like this nice like sea foamy green with the doors that are green. She has a lot of green, which actually makes me feel better about me having a lot of green because I also have a lot of green. The skylights are amazing. This empty room is really good. And then she kind of goes crazy with color and pattern, which I like, but I'm curious to see what she's kept and what she's moved around and whatnot. Okay, first thing I've noticed is that she's taken the yellow couch and moved it to the middle of the room, which I like that yellow couch. She does have a ton of primary colors. If you look at the before or the 2 years ago one, there's a blue dresser with like a primary color palette art above it. And then, like a red bookshelf and then the yellow sofa. Like there's a lot of primaries. So I'm curious to see if she's touched on that a little because I feel like it's a little bit much. But the first thing I do notice is the movement of the yellow sofa. It looks like she's taken that little floral bench and put it kind of floating in front of the bookcase. The bookcase is the same exact color, but I love that color. But it's really the other wall that I wasn't a huge fan of, this like blue like console thing with the art. I didn't really like that. Let's see if she's changed that. And would you look at that? She did. I do think that a desk there looks so much better. I feel like the console has really no purpose to it. And I just thought that pop of blue and that art just made, I don't know, the room didn't feel as cohesive. Like there was just too much happening. Now it just feels a little bit more subtle, which I think she needed because it's already so, She also got rid of the 4 pieces of art on the left side, which I do like that art, so maybe it's in another area of her home. But again, yeah, she needed to like subtle or like, I don't know, simplify that area. And it's nice to have a giant desk. I love having a giant desk. Kind of ideal. I like to spread out my stuff. This is where this is. Okay. She also used to have this like little dining table thing in front of the bookcase, which again, she replaced with that bench thing. I did like the little dining table. Maybe it didn't get any use, but I did like it. I feel like it was kind of fun to like, I don't know, people could like sit there and do work, but it probably got no use. I'm assuming she got rid of it. I did like it there though, but I do like the bench there as well. But interesting, once you move into a place, you furnish it and then you realize like, hey, I never use this, or I need a desk or whatever. And then that's when it's like you can make all these like simple little changes. But again, she kept the bones of the space. A lot of the paint colors are the same. And I think that's nice because that's just such a huge project. I think it's just easier to, sell your little bistro and put a bench. That's easier, in my opinion. Okay, real quick, we're going to take a little break to talk about today's sponsor, Hungry Root. Welcome to my brother's kitchen, Jack. My brother Jack, I'm currently in Chicago, and I said, hey, Jack, let's make some Hungry Root meals because he's fresh out of college, well, I guess a few years, and I don't like to cook. So Hungry Root really makes sense for the both of us. It's extremely easy to get started with Hungry Root. You first take a fun short quiz, which gets to know, your health goals, what you like to eat, what you don't like to eat. They then build you a personalized cart with all of your grocery needs and delicious recipe recommendations. So today, my brother and I are making the Yuba Thai peanut rice noodle dish. Everything arrived extremely fresh. The meat and seafood were really high quality, and there were a lot of little snacks that came in the package, which my brother loved. He loves to snack. The first 100 people to use my code in the description will get 40% off their first grocery order with Hungry Root. You can also scan this lovely high-tech QR code on the screen as well. And thanks again, Hungry Root, for sponsoring this video. If you look against this wall, she did add a TV and another little couch below it. I feel like maybe at first she was like, we don't need a TV in this room. And then her kids got older and she was like, well, we got to put a flat screen. So what are you going to do? But I do like the placement of the TV, and that makes sense why she moved the couch to this side. And I really like that there's a couch under the TV, just like extra lounge area. She also switched out the mirrors. I actually liked the old mirror more. She also got rid of this big console table, which I liked, but I see why it was a little chunky for the space. And the yellow art above it was cute. And now she just has, a basket of firewood. So I do feel like a lot of her changes have been due to her kids getting older. Like you can just tell that this is more set up for like family movie night. And then this is just like more for when they're just like lounging and having coffee. You need the TV sometimes. What are you going to do? I also feel like with the before, this area was like a little unfinished. So maybe she always was planning on, doing something there. But I feel like I like the second version more. But again, small changes. But I'll pick them apart. I'll find them. She also had a jute rug in the original space, and now she has a bigger, still neutral rug, but it looks a little comfier. I feel like I didn't love the jute rug. I don't remember what I said. I'm not a huge fan of jute rugs because I just feel like they're uncomfy. But she kept that giant piece of art on the right side. Actually, this color, this room color with the green molding is very similar to my bedroom, which is interesting. She also shows us this little back room that she didn't show us before I think it's just like a kid's little playroom, which I love when people do that. I feel like it's kind of nice to have a space where you're like, go there and make a mess there. I think being from the Midwest, that was always the basement. My parents were always like, go to the basement. This just feels a little cozier, and I don't know, I guess as a parent, I'm not a parent, but when you have kids, like, I don't know, I think they're like 2 and they look young. They have like a little toy car. It's kind of nice to have them like off the kitchen or off the living room. I could be wrong, because then you can keep a little bit of an eye on them, and sending them to the basement when they're that young might be like, you got to watch your kids, right? So I like the location of it, and I love, this is what she's made for, is doing design like this. I feel like she has such a good eye for color and pattern and just doing something fun. She did do a collaboration with Anthropology, which felt so fitting to me. Just her style mixed with Anthro, it works really nicely. So I would think that maybe something next for her would be doing something with like a kids line or like Crate Kids or something, because she has a great job at it. I really like this little kids room. Now her bedroom has changed probably the most. I feel like she spent the most money to upgrade this. One, she got rid of the couch that was in the little bay windows, and she also got rid of the striped Roman shades. I actually like what she did with this. It feels a little bit more muted. I feel like the stripe was fun, but it's also, I don't know, it's when you go so bold like that, it can feel maybe a little overwhelming in a bedroom. I like both of them, to be honest. She kept the wall color the same. She kept the rug the same. It looks like she switched out the light fixture. I feel like she just wanted it to feel a little softer. I don't know what she actually was thinking, but that's just my opinion on based on the switching out the curtains and the light fixture. It just feels softer. It's very feminine. This also looks like a little like baby room at the same time. The palette. It also looks like she got a whole new couch at the end of her bed, which I actually really like that. I think it did look nice in the windows, but I think that the table is nicer there. It kind of just fits the space better. And then having the sofa at the end of the bed, I just like that look in general. I think it's nice. It's also a good spot to just place shit. I like having like a chair or sofa in a room because then I can just like folded laundry, whatever. The bed is the same. She kept the headboard. She switched out the bedding. It's still white. She got 2 new lamps on each side, which I actually like those a lot more because I feel like that chrome modern touch was needed in the space if we're really going to pick it apart. Whereas before she had, the scallopy, lampshade, which again is very her, but I think sometimes, you don't want to overdo it. She also got rid of that really bad art. I feel like she had some like pretty trendy art back in the day, and that's gone. So that's good. And here's another little room that she didn't show us before. It makes me feel like she just didn't have these done 2 years ago because they lived here for 4 years. They've done so much. So I feel like the kids' rooms just weren't done, or like maybe she didn't. One of the kids is like 2. So maybe she like didn't have the kid. I don't know. But anyways, this is a new room that we didn't see before. I feel like this is very London feeling, I think like having like the all patterned wallpaper up onto the ceiling. I really love that look. I think this is a really nice little kids room. I think she does such a good job with kids rooms. I really do. She did show this room in the old house with the really cute like little clover wallpaper with the red curtain. Can I speak? I like this look a little bit more, but I also like this one. I think they're different rooms. I feel like they both still exist. They're just not showing them in the updates. But I think this one just felt a little different than her other spaces, having the little clover wallpaper with the really like bright orange curtain, whereas this new space just feels like the rest of her house a little bit more. But it's so cute. She really should do a kid line. Does she have a kid line? Does she have a wallpaper line? I feel like there's more she could do. Also, look at this little kid's bathroom. It's pretty adorable with the tile. And I will say that her style does lean so young that by the time the kids are, in like high school, she might have to like upgrade some stuff because it does feel very baby themed, which I've talked about in another video before. Like, how far do you go with transitional decor? Like, when you have a baby and you have to decorate, or like if you have some kids and you have to decorate a bathroom, you want it to feel very kid friendly, but then it's like once they're teens, are you gonna have to redo it? So it's like, what is that balance of catering to the age your kid is and what they might grow into? Because I personally like the approach where it's like everything is pretty transitional besides like some smaller things, whereas Matilda does like the opposite. She like balls out on like the little kids rooms. Like she makes it feel really young. But I don't know, budget wise, I'm like, as they get older, they're gonna hate this. I don't know. I just think about myself, or like really any teen. Like once I hit like 13, I'm like, I want to paint my room lime green. And you start having like opinions and you're like, I don't want this. You just become a brat, basically. So, unless I bet her kids are like the sweetest and probably won't grow up to be brats. Maybe it's just me with teen angst. But yeah, we love Matilda Goad. I want to look up like her products really quick. She has a store online. It's kind of cute. She like styles it in her own house. And remember, I feel like I featured some of this stuff on my gift guide, like these like round stripe little frames. She has a cute little store, but it is pricey for sure. Like this little egg plate. I love how her style is just so her. The little like squiggles and the color palette is like, she's really made a name for herself, where I even speak about that like in videos. I'll be like, this feels very Matilda Goad. So I like when people, make a name for themselves, especially within interior design. It makes you like unique in that sense and different than what other people are doing. Look at these cork urns. Like, this is cool. A cork lamp. Yeah, but see, like, expensive. I wonder what collab she'll do next. Speaking about Matilda Goad a lot. I like her. I feel like she's like a nice person and unique, and I just like that her brand is her brand. Even though I don't necessarily love everything about it, because I obviously have my own style, but I like bits and pieces. But that's the thing with interior design in general. You don't necessarily want to, well, you don't want to copy someone's interior design style to the T. You want to explore different designers and different routes of inspiration that inspire you, and then you kind of pull it all together based on what you like. Because if you go like all one direction, you're just going to feel like your house is Matilda Goad. You know what I mean? So you just take like bits and pieces, and there's a ton of stuff on her site that I think are super cute and I would buy. Should I buy something? I need to stop shopping, honestly. She does have a cute little kids section. Look at this, like enamel and cutlery. Very cute. Really into that. She also has monogrammed linen napkins, which we did at our pop-up. If you came to the Chicago pop-up, thanks for coming. It actually hasn't happened yet. I'm filming this prior to it. But we are doing monogramming on any of the linens you bought or buy. Well, I'm speaking in... Yeah, it hasn't happened yet. But now that the pop-up's over, here are some photos from that. I think it turned out nice. I don't know. It hasn't happened. Anyways, let's end this video with another just giant compliment to Matilda Goad. I think her style is cool and unique. I've said it a million times at this point. I don't know. I thought it was kind of fun to go through, some before, or like the evolution of a home. It's literally like the title of this video. It's like the evolution of a home. And it's true. Like, it's fun to see how your home changes as your family grows or whatever. You discover what you need, what you don't need, what gets a lot of use, what doesn't get a lot of use. And you make like very small changes. So all of these changes were done in 2 years, basically, since the last time she was featured. And I think it's a really good example of, how much you really should be changing in your home. And it's really minimal. So if you get the bones right, then you can kind of just like sell and buy and move according to life. Okay, that's it. That's my little review. Send me any other, designers that I should take a look at. These are my more serious videos where we talk interiors. Well, I just kind of blab. Is that fun for you? All right. See you in the next one. Goodbye.